Welcome to the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner Prepcast, where we guide you through everything you need to know for your certification exam. Whether you're just starting or looking to refine your knowledge, this course will set you up for success. Brought to you by baremetalcyber.com. Let's get started. Storage is one of the most essential foundations of the cloud. No matter what an organization is building, from simple websites to advanced analytics platforms, data must be stored securely, reliably, and in a way that supports growth. AWS provides a range of storage services designed to handle different kinds of data and use cases. For the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam, it's important to recognize the major storage options, their unique features, and the situations where each is most useful. In the real world, understanding storage allows businesses to make smart choices that balance cost, performance, and security. Amazon's Simple Storage Service, or S3, is one of AWS's most well-known and widely used storage services. It provides object storage, which means data is stored as individual objects with metadata, rather than in blocks or files. These objects live in containers called buckets. S3 is designed for virtually unlimited scale and offers high durability, making it ideal for backups, media files, application data, and much more. A key feature of S3 is its simplicity. Customers can store and retrieve data with just a few clicks or through application programming interfaces, known as APIs. For the exam, remember S3 is object storage. S3 includes multiple storage classes to optimize cost and performance. The standard class provides immediate access and is best for frequently used data. Infrequent access classes like S3 Standard IA cost less but charge more when data is retrieved. There are also archive classes such as S3 Glacier and Glacier Deep Archive, which offer very low-cost storage for rarely accessed data. Intelligent tiering automatically moves objects between classes based on usage patterns. This flexibility allows organizations to save money while ensuring data is still available when needed. On the exam, focus on the idea that different storage classes serve different use cases. Versioning in S3 is another important concept. With versioning enabled, S3 keeps multiple versions of the same object. This means if a file is accidentally deleted or overwritten, previous versions can still be recovered. Versioning provides a safety net, reducing the risk of permanent data loss. For example, if a developer mistakenly replaces a file, versioning ensures the older copy is still available. This feature is particularly useful in industries where data integrity is critical, such as healthcare or finance. For exam preparation, know that S3 versioning helps protect against accidental deletions or changes. Lifecycle policies are automation rules that help manage data as it ages. With lifecycle policies, objects can automatically transition between storage classes based on rules you define. For instance, a company might keep log files in standard storage for 30 days, then move them to infrequent access for the next 90 days, and finally archive them in Glacier. Lifecycle policies reduce costs by ensuring that older data is stored in the most cost-effective class, without requiring manual effort. This feature reflects one of the core benefits of the cloud automation that saves time and money. Cross-region replication extends S3's power by automatically copying objects between buckets in different regions. This is useful for disaster recovery, compliance requirements, or providing faster access to users in different geographic areas. For example, a company in the United States might replicate data to Europe to comply with local regulations. Replication ensures redundancy beyond a single region, providing resilience against large-scale outages. For the exam, remember that cross-region replication is about durability, compliance, and global access. It shows how AWS infrastructure supports both local needs and international business. Amazon Elastic Block Store, or EBS, provides block-level storage. Unlike object storage, block storage is structured more like a traditional hard drive, where data is stored in fixed-size chunks. EBS volumes are attached to EC2 instances and serve as their primary storage, holding operating systems, applications, and databases. EBS is ideal for workloads that require consistent, low-latency access to data. Think of S3 as a warehouse for storing anything and everything, while EBS is the fast, reliable hard drive directly connected to your virtual server. On the exam, remember EBS is block storage tied to EC2. EBS snapshots are a way to back up EBS volumes. A snapshot is a point-in-time copy of the data stored in S3. Snapshots allow customers to restore volumes quickly if something goes wrong. They can also be used to create new volumes in different availability zones, supporting disaster recovery and scaling. For example, a company might take daily snapshots of its database volume to ensure data can be restored in case of corruption. Snapshots highlight AWS's focus on durability and reliability. On the exam, know that snapshots are backups for EBS volumes stored in S3. Amazon Elastic File System, or EFS, provides file storage in the cloud. Unlike block or object storage, file storage organizes data in directories and files, much like a shared drive in an office. EFS can be mounted by multiple EC2 instances at the same time, allowing teams or applications to share access. This makes it ideal for workloads that need shared file systems, such as web servers or content management platforms. EFS is fully managed and scales automatically, eliminating the need for customers to provision storage. For exam preparation, remember, EFS is AWS's managed file storage service. For archival storage, AWS offers Amazon Glacier, also known as S3 Glacier. Glacier is designed for long-term storage of data that is rarely accessed but must be retained, such as compliance records or historical logs. It offers very low costs, but retrieving data can take minutes to hours depending on the retrieval option chosen. Glacier emphasizes durability, ensuring data remains safe for years. For exam purposes, remember that Glacier is about balancing cost and retrieval speed, making it suitable for cold data that must be kept but not frequently used. AWS Storage Gateway bridges the gap between on-premises environments and the cloud. It allows businesses to connect their existing applications to AWS storage services without major changes. For example, Storage Gateway can back up on-premises data directly to S3 or Glacier, making cloud storage an extension of local infrastructure. This hybrid approach is valuable for organizations transitioning to the cloud gradually. For exam preparation, remember that Storage Gateway connects on-premises systems to AWS storage, supporting hybrid strategies. Snowball and related devices extend AWS storage to edge environments. Snowball is a physical appliance that allows customers to move large amounts of data into or out of AWS by shipping the device. This is often faster and cheaper than transferring data over the internet for very large volumes. Snowball Edge devices also offer compute capabilities, allowing processing at remote sites before data is sent to AWS. These tools support industries like media, research, and logistics, where huge datasets must be transferred efficiently. On the exam, remember that Snowball supports data migration and edge use cases. One of the reasons AWS storage is so trusted is its durability and redundancy. Services like S3 replicate data across multiple facilities to protect against failures. AWS advertises durability levels as high as 11 nines, meaning data is almost never lost. Redundancy ensures that even if hardware fails, copies remain available elsewhere. Customers benefit from this level of reliability without needing to manage backups themselves. For exam preparation, durability and redundancy are key concepts tied to AWS storage services. Finally, it is essential to choose the right storage service for the right job. AWS provides multiple options: S3 for objects, EBS for blocks, EFS for files, Glacier for archives, and hybrid solutions like Storage Gateway. Each has strengths and trade-offs, and understanding these allows businesses to optimize both performance and cost. Choosing incorrectly can lead to inefficiencies, such as paying too much for data that is rarely accessed, or struggling with performance issues by placing databases in the wrong type of storage. For the exam, expect questions about matching services to use cases. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other prepcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. One of the greatest advantages of AWS storage is scalability. Traditional storage systems often require companies to buy hardware in advance, guessing how much space they will need. In the cloud, storage scales automatically as data grows. With services like S3, customers can store virtually unlimited amounts of information without worrying about running out of space. This flexibility means businesses no longer need to overbuy resources or face downtime when storage fills up. Scalability also supports innovation, since teams can experiment freely, confident that AWS will expand as needed to support new ideas. Cost is always a major factor in storage decisions. AWS offers multiple pricing options across its storage services, allowing customers to balance expense with access needs. For instance, storing frequently accessed files in S3 Standard costs more than archiving them in Glacier, but retrieval is much faster. EBS volumes have different pricing based on performance levels, such as general purpose or provisioned IOPS. Cost considerations push customers to evaluate not just where to store data, but also how often it will be used. For the exam, remember that choosing the right storage class directly impacts cost efficiency. Encryption is central to protecting data in AWS storage. AWS allows customers to encrypt data at rest, meaning while it is stored, and in transit, meaning while it moves between services or networks. For example, files in an S3 bucket can be encrypted with AWS managed keys, and data transferred over the Internet can be protected with SSL/TLS. Encryption ensures that even if unauthorized individuals access data, they cannot read it without the proper keys. On the exam, expect to see encryption described as both a best practice and a shared responsibility between AWS and the customer. Access control is another layer of protection in AWS storage. IAM policies, bucket policies, and access control lists all allow customers to specify who can access data and what actions they can take. For example, a company may allow employees to upload files to an S3 bucket but prevent them from deleting anything. Fine-grained access control ensures that only the right people interact with the right data in the right way. This level of control helps prevent accidental changes and unauthorized activity, making access management a cornerstone of storage security. The shared responsibility model is critical when discussing storage security. AWS protects the underlying infrastructure that supports services like S3, EBS, and EFS. Customers, however, are responsible for securing their own data, managing access, and enabling encryption. For example, AWS ensures that disks in a data center are physically protected, but customers must configure their storage to prevent public exposure. Exam questions often test this division of responsibility, reminding candidates that AWS provides the foundation, while customers must take active steps to secure what they build on top of it. Data transfer acceleration is another useful feature offered by AWS, especially with S3. Transfer acceleration uses AWS's Global Edge network to move files faster between users and S3 buckets. For example, a team in Asia could upload large files more quickly to a US bucket using accelerated paths. This feature is valuable for global organizations with distributed teams, as it reduces delays and improves productivity. On the exam, know that transfer acceleration is specifically tied to S3 and is designed to speed up long-distance data transfers. Storage services are a key focus of the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam. You may see questions asking which service provides object storage, which provides file storage, or which is best for long-term archives. You may also encounter scenarios testing your ability to match a storage service to a specific business use case. The exam is less about memorizing technical details and more about recognizing the right tool for the job. Knowing the differences between S3, EBS, EFS, and Glacier will help you answer these questions confidently. Backup and restore practices are essential for data resilience. In AWS, backups can be automated with services like EBS Snapshots, S3 versioning, or AWS Backup, which provides centralized control over multiple services. Having a backup strategy ensures that data can be restored quickly if it is lost, corrupted, or accidentally deleted. For businesses, this is not optional. Backups are critical to survival in the event of failures. On the exam, expect to see backup and restore described as both a best practice and a benefit of AWS services. Disaster recovery takes backup a step further by ensuring systems remain available even during major incidents. With AWS, disaster recovery can involve replicating data across regions, using lifecycle policies, or leveraging services like Glacier for low-cost, long-term storage. For example, a business might maintain a secondary environment in another region, ready to take over if the primary one fails. Disaster recovery strategies vary in complexity, but AWS provides the tools to support all levels. For the exam, remember that AWS storage supports both durability and disaster recovery planning. Storage use cases span nearly every industry. In healthcare, storage supports secure patient records. In finance, it holds transaction data for years of compliance. Media companies use AWS storage to host videos and deliver them globally, while education institutions use it to back up student records. Even small businesses benefit by storing documents, websites, and backups without buying physical equipment. These diverse use cases highlight the flexibility of AWS storage, making it one of the most universal services in the platform. Hybrid storage strategies are common for organizations transitioning to the cloud. Some workloads remain on-premises while others move into AWS. Services like Storage Gateway make it possible to bridge these two worlds seamlessly. For example, a company may keep active projects on local servers but back up archives to S3 or Glacier. Hybrid strategies provide flexibility, allowing organizations to adopt cloud storage gradually while still taking advantage of cost savings and scalability. For exam purposes, remember that AWS supports hybrid models through services like Storage Gateway and Snowball. Performance optimization is another factor in choosing storage. EBS volumes, for example, come in different performance levels, with provisioned IOPS designed for high-demand databases. S3 also offers storage classes optimized for frequent or infrequent access. By matching workloads to the right storage option, customers can ensure both efficiency and cost-effectiveness. On the exam, you don't need to memorize performance numbers, but you should understand that AWS provides options for tailoring storage performance to specific business needs. Storage is truly one of the core building blocks of AWS. Without it, compute, networking, and higher-level services could not function. Every workload depends on reliable, durable, and secure data storage. By understanding the basics: object storage with S3, block storage with EBS, file storage with EFS, archival storage with Glacier, and hybrid options with Storage Gateway, customers can design systems that are both resilient and cost-effective. For the exam, this knowledge ensures you can connect use cases to services. For practice, it ensures you can design real-world solutions confidently. As we close this episode, remember that AWS storage is not a single service, but a family of options, each suited to specific needs. Storage scales effortlessly, adapts to cost requirements, and provides durability at levels few organizations could achieve on their own. It supports compliance, enables disaster recovery, and powers applications across industries. For the exam, mastering these fundamentals ensures success in storage-related questions. In practice, it gives you the ability to design solutions that are reliable, cost-efficient, and future-proof. Storage is more than data at rest, it is the heartbeat of the cloud. That concludes today's episode of the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner Prepcast. Be sure to tune in for the next episode and visit us online at baremetalcyber.com or cyberauthor.me for more resources, including news, mailing lists, YouTube videos, podcasts, and much more.